So, since Trump's first day in office of his second term, we've been following very closely his absolute war on our universities. And this could be for it's a multitude of reasons that he's going after different universities. Some it's because of the pro Palestinian protests that they allow on campus. Some is over DEI programs. Some are over anti Semitism. Just a whole load of things. And the main one that we've been focusing on, mainly because they are one of the few that are actually standing up to the Trump administration, and that is Harvard. Now, we've covered, I think it was like Columbia in the past. They didn't stand up at all. They pretty much absolutely folded to the Trump administration, and they are still getting federal funding dangled over their heads. So the only option here is to resist and stand your ground. Now, I've lost count of the actions that they've taken against Harvard. For a while, they revoked their ability to enroll foreign students. They cut billions of funding already. They even looked into reviewing their accreditation. What are you gonna pull Harvard University's accreditation? Are you fucking insane? Now we have another one here, and it's a federal investigation that finds Harvard violated civil rights law. So this is funny. We're going to read this in a second. I just find it absolutely hilarious that this is a thing, that they directed this investigation, because it's like, oh, now you care about civil rights laws. Now you care. This is the same administration that on day one, or at least in the first month, Trump signed an executive order to basically revoke the Equal Employment Opportunity Act signed by Lyndon B. Johnson back in 1965. He ended all sorts of DEI programs because Republicans don't understand DEI and what it is. It's not some quota you need to hire this many black people or this many disabled people. No, it is strictly accessibility and spreading that accessibility of jobs and to minority communities, just making sure that they have the same access to these jobs as other people. It's not saying you have to hire them. It's just ensuring access. And it's even things that you might not even think about, like ensuring fucking handicap access and proper disability requirements at businesses and such. Republicans have no idea what the fuck DEI is. Anyways, that's besides the point. And no longer recognizing trans as a status. It's only male or female. And he also revoked the clause that explicitly prohibited segregation in federal facilities through federal contractors, agencies, etc. And now you want to talk about civil rights. Oh my God. Okay. Let's read this article and we'll talk about it. So, federal investigation finds Harvard violated civil rights law. A Trump administration investigation has found that Harvard University violated federal civil rights law by failing to protect Jewish students on campus. The finding puts the school at risk for losing additional funding. This is rich. This is absolutely rich. In a separate letter to the university summarizing the investigation's findings, a federal task force said Harvard has been, in some cases, deliberately indifferent and in others have been a willful participant in anti-Semitic harassment of Jewish students, faculty, and staff. Yeah, I'm sure you have all this bombshell evidence to back this up too. And the federal task force they are referring to here is the anti-Semitism task force that Trump established on his first day in office. And he also had established a anti-Christian bias task force. So it's funny with eliminating DEI, a bunch of civil rights era protections. And yet you're going to turn around and be like, you aren't protecting Jewish students enough. Jesus Christ, man. It is the latest in a battle between the federal government and the world's wealthiest university. In a statement, a Harvard spokesperson said Harvard is far from indifferent on the issue and strongly disagrees with the government's findings. The university says it has taken a number of steps to better protect against anti-Semitism and support Jewish students on campus. We remain committed to ensuring members of our Jewish and Israeli community are embraced, respected, and can thrive at Harvard, the statement said. You know what's funny? And I'm glad they made, I feel like this was a deliberate separation here. The most anti-Semitic thing in the world to me is when the Trump administration and even Israel itself makes this conflation that Israel represents the view of all Jewish people. Israel represents the will of all Jewish people. It just represents Jewish people. So to criticize Israel is to be anti-Semitic. That's anti-Semitic because Israel is a genocidal ethno-state. Like, I don't know what you want me to tell you. If you think criticizing a state that is committing a genocide is anti-Semitic, then you've lost the plot. You have absolutely lost the plot. So I think it's very important, and a lot of people, with my same views, think it's very important to distinguish between Jewish and Israelis, because completely separate. Okay, Israel does not represent all Jews. It does not represent the will of all Jews, and it is not. It's just, there's so many things where, like, Benjamin Netanyahu, they just say this shit like, yes, Israel is the bastion for all Jews, and we represent all Jews. It's like, no, you don't. You fucking, not all Jews, not all Jews are genocidal fucking maniacs. You're the anti-Semitic ones. Like, stop comparing Jewish and Israelis as the same thing. It's not the same. The investigation was completed by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services Office for Civil Rights, and its finding outlines the violations it says occurred on the Cambridge, Massachusetts campus since October 7th, 2023. OCR finds that the specific and repeated examples uncovered during her investigation established a pattern of unlawful and unchecked discrimination at Harvard, the report says. Earlier this year, Harvard created its own task force to investigate anti-Semitism on campus, and many examples and quotes from that report were cited in the federal OCR review. Harvard has already had more than $2 billion in federal funds canceled or frozen and is currently suing the administration. A hearing for that trial is set for mid-July. So, this is amazing. And I'm beginning to notice a pattern with the Trump administration. And it's like, not only are they doing something controversial or racist or xenophobic, they really just do it and then rub it in your face in the sickest way possible. A couple examples off the top of my head: turning that DHS app it was used to kind of like check in, and it was like served as some kind of guidance for immigrants to come through legally, and it just had a lot of resources for that. They converted it into a self-deportation app. Like, what a middle fucking finger. Like, holy shit. And another one just recently was with the alligator Alcatraz for a migrant detention center, where they're going to build a concentration camp in the fucking middle of the Everglades, and it's going to be minimal security, because if you escape, there's nowhere to go, and there's a lot of hostile wildlife in the area. This is from, like, the Florida fucking Attorney General himself. And where are they getting the funding for this fucking migrant concentration camp? From FEMA's, I forget what the program was called, but it's basically a program in FEMA that was sheltering immigrants. It was a temporary sheltering program for immigrants coming to the country. They're taking that money, scrapping that program, and then building an alligator Alcatraz with it. That is insane. Now you have this, using civil rights laws to further crack down on universities, while actively trying to deport brown people over free speech, and removing all DEI protections, and the rolling back of civil rights era laws that we just discussed towards the beginning of this video. So it's just so depraved. It's just such a fucking depraved administration, to say the least. And it blows my mind. It blows my mind that this is what we are focusing on, what they are focusing on, when the number one cause of bankruptcy in this country is medical bankruptcy. Dozens of thousands of people die every year in this country due to lack of access to healthcare. Right now, there's a bill that's, we all know it, the one big beautiful bill that all this effort's going into, that is going to kick a minimum of 11 million people off their healthcare and will lead to an additional 50,000 people that could die every year due to lack of healthcare access. And this is what we're fucking on about. And I have to say, I've said it before, it's so hard to gauge what's actual anti-Semitism, because for all you know, like from what I'm seeing, from what I'm personally witnessing, is you have a lot of people, a lot of elected people who basically say, if you criticize Israel, you are anti-Semitic. So I just wonder how many of these cases are maybe someone from Israel or someone defending Israel saying like, yeah, what they're doing in Gaza is fine, and then getting shit for it, and then turn around screaming anti-Semitism is on the rise. It's hard to gauge. Like, it blows my mind, man. Let me know what you think in the comment section down below, and I will see you in the next one. If you made it to this point in the video, I just want to give a special thank you. If you enjoyed it, please hit that like button down below. And if you really enjoyed it, maybe consider hitting that subscribe button while you're down there. I want to hear your thoughts in the comment section. I will try to reply to any and all comments that I can. Until next time, watch that video on screen.